Hello everyone, this is xBIGALSKIx and welcome to part 3 of my Hunter the Reckoning Nightmare commentary walkthrough video. I'm playing as Judge and this is the playground. Now, on this video right here, I was able to find an effect in my processing or my video editing software. I use Pinnacle Studio 22 and it's called Progressive Stretch. So this looks a little bit funny because there's lines above and below. Some of the cutscenes are like that too. I actually went back and took out the stretch on that part, but as you see right now, this takes up the whole screen. So it's something new. I didn't do it in my first video. I found out about it in my second video, but I'd already done the commentary. I think I put a note at the beginning of that. And so from here on out, the videos will be stretched out except for the cutscenes, because again there's the top slot, so it looks kind of awkward. But going forward, you'll get to see that it's going to look like it's like really cool, or it looks a lot better. It takes forever to process though. It's that the rendering of it, the application that it puts in there, it takes so much longer to do than just a regular one. But I think it being stretched out makes the game look a lot better, because this is an old game. It did come out in 2002. I've said that before. So having said all that, this fight right here, I'm trying to save all my heavy weapons until the boss comes out or I really get swamped. This is boring stuff. I could have probably gone up towards the building there and maybe fought the guys, and the boss would have come out a lot faster. But again, like I said, I want to kill everything I possibly can. If you use the cross sword that he has and you miss, or you get surrounded by a couple, these guys do so much damage on nightmare mode that you could die really quick. And on these first few levels, I really want to limit the deaths. I've restarted a few times. I want to make sure there's nothing up here, but I want to limit the deaths because I'm going to need them in some of the harder sections later on. So again, it's boring. It's just shooting, letting them come to you. I think I used my edge. I'm not sure if I have an ability to refill my edge on this screen. Now, I'm trying to shoot the guys and not the stone. Those arrows aren't really going to hurt that gargoyle at all, but I want to single him out. And again, if I try to pull out the sword and it misses somebody and he swings at me or they hit me, I could be in trouble. I want to save my health glyph over there for when I actually need it, and I don't want to take any chances on these guys. Get as close as you can so they don't get a chance to swing or jump at you. Again, you see, I wish they had almost an auto target on it to lock on, because there's times, especially in some of the other videos, that I kind of run around in circles. They turn and I turn and I miss them, and then they can shoot me. And so I wish they kind of had a little target lock. I mean, if they do, I don't know. But see, now that those guys are in the fence, kind of use what I have to keep them in there. Go to a place where they can't come around, and just see how I missed and he swung and got me. Now again, usually these guys, if they drop a red or a blue, it's going to really fill up a lot. So that's hopefully what they'll do whenever you kill them. But again, just stay aggressive and just right trigger away. You might be able to stay behind the fence and shoot if you low on health and don't want to take that chance. If I go and try to pick that up, it's almost like the game baits you. It's like, please come and pick this up. I was too nervous to go up and get that. And again, one of the tips that I want to really stress is watch your counter, or your ammo counter, where you are in relation to them, because the last thing you want to do is go to try and pick up something thinking you have the ammo to shoot him, and then you don't, and then he reloads, and then you get, you know, a lot of damage done to you. I know it sounds obvious, but when you're sitting there looking at all the guys and where they are and trying to circle around and everything like that, it's easy to lose track of your ammo. So that's all this is going to be for a little while. I know it's boring. You know, I've said it plenty of times. When you're killing everybody, it's going to be boring in this game. I still find it very relaxing for some reason. You know, after playing Ninja Gaiden Black for so long, just kind of running around and taking your time, and in Ninja Gaiden you had to, you know, time limits if you're going to play for score that you had to meet, and you had to rush and do things a certain way and had a chapter time to deal with. Here, you know, time is not a factor, so again, take your time. I'm still saving up my, that was me, got a little bit too nervous and missed out on the chance. You know, some of those things when I've gotten close and didn't get it, it could hurt me, potentially hurt me. But, you know, again, better safe than sorry, I always say. Sometimes the auto target is not exactly what I want. Why couldn't they have dropped reds? I mean, that was, see, again, just missing, letting him have the opportunity, and all of a sudden I'm down, you know, to half health. See, I went over there to press the button and I ended up reloading instead. That's happened a few times throughout the series. Now, I will say I've already got a lot of the videos made. I've got more than half of the videos made. I just haven't had a chance to do the commentary. So if I did the render, that progressive stretch on the rendering of this, that cutscene would have looked really stretched. It would have been really funny. The top and bottom bars still would have been there. So, you know, I went back through and just left the cutscenes how they normally look. Now my focus right here is to get these Skitters. I still don't want to use my heavy weapons just yet until I can clear out these enemies. It's very methodical, it's very boring. You know, I've repeated it a ton of times. See, that was sometimes when to jump and when not to jump, the shockwave. As you can see, the machine gun doesn't do that much damage to him. But you really want to be smart about your weapons. Now ideally, if you could get him stuck behind the fence and stay at an area where you can just pick off these guys. See, I let myself get circled. I should have pulled out another weapon and really focused on those skitters. But also, I don't want to pick up these weapons like I had said earlier. I don't want to pick them up until I know I'm not going to waste any ammunition by picking them up. I mean, it would have been nice to get these blues right here. And also, you can melee this guy, and it actually does a lot of damage to him. But I tried this a few times, and again, when I've gotten close to melee and he's done that, I've seen, even when I thought I had jumped over it, I ended up getting hit. So again, that was bad. I actually tried to go to the side. But also, I can't tell you how many times I stayed close to melee and him all of a sudden dropped some skitters. And then, you know, that he drops like 5 of them at a time, 3 to 5 at a time. So then I get, you know, I die, and I don't want to die. I want to keep these lives. I want to build it up. So even the heavy weapons, see right there, I can't tell you how many times that had happened and they blew up right on me right when I was meleeing. So I just said, you know what, I'm just going to keep running around in circles and slowly picking him off. But again, if you're playing on the normal mode, it's easy to just melee him, you know, take the damage, go heal up. But on this level, again, if you're trying to keep your lives, then you almost got to play it a little cautious. You see I'm running out of ammo. And the other part of that too is, I think I keep maybe one of the shotguns up there. Here's another easy way that you might be able to do, and just slowly do some damage right there if you wanted to do that and spend a lot of time. I mean, I spend a ton of time killing him, shooting him regular without having to go through the fence. That would, see, that doesn't do any. I thought I would try everything just in case something did click on him. But again, I don't think I pick up that other shotgun, because you take your weapons, whatever you have, your health, your edge, so your red or your blue, you take that with you to the next level. I don't think that I picked this up, and of course I do pick that up. So I thought maybe it was taking too long. Again, see how he dropped these skitters? I didn't see him. See? And that's the bad thing about taking these heavy weapons out, especially the shotgun. Because if they miss in the reload time, you know, you could be in trouble. Now, if you want to fight them toe to toe on nightmare mode, more power to you. But I know I'm going to need some of those lives later on. I'm getting to those sections right now. But I would probably say, because I do this stretch render, or the stretch effect, normally it takes about, you know, 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, depending on the length of the video. I mean, sometimes it's taken 5 minutes on my Ninja Gaiden videos to render, even with everything. But this stretch, and because I did it in 1080p, I think the last video that I had took like 5 hours to render. So it's going to take some time to get all these videos done and rendered and then uploaded. So, you know, there'll be quite a bit of a gap. But here, this rest of the time, all I'm going to be doing is running around and shooting him and trying to be safe. Again, if I was, meleeing him or trying to melee, and I'm doing this like 3 swing attack, meleeing him, and he dropped those skitters, they're going to blow up and they're going to kill me. So again, I know it's boring. I'm sorry it's boring. But that's part of it. Again, I still find it relaxing. Even watching this is relaxing. But that's all this is going to be for the next, God, I hate to even say it, it's like 8 more minutes of this. And I know people are going to say, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy is being this cautious, but I tried it with the melee weapon, and any bad mistake really close to them, you can already see I'm already out of my health glyph over there, so I got to be careful. But any bad mistake, you get punished. And it's just something I've got to keep alive for the later levels. So I'm going to take a break while this goes on. That's what it's going to be, and I'll come back towards the end. See, I even pulled out my melee there to try, and all of a sudden there goes half my health. So I had to go back to the tried and true. Trust me, even I got bored with running around. I'm like, I know the melee is faster, but as you can see, getting close, some bad things can happen. So I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you're worried about keeping your lives for later on, take the safe way out for right now. Now I'm sure playing with another character, could probably do more damage, because my guy's not the strongest of the characters. He's not the fastest of the characters. I really like him because of the crossbow. There's some, I never knew that they were vampires. I mean, they just seemed like, they didn't look like vampires, I guess, but the crossbow does a real lot of damage with them and kills them pretty fast versus not having the sword. So I like having that long range ability of his crossbow, the damage it does, plus the word of power that he starts out with. So I know some of the other characters might be stronger or faster and would probably kill this guy, a lot more easily than what I'm doing right here. But I just kind of looked, if I had to go through the game solo, what character do I feel the most comfortable with? And for me, that's Judge. I almost dogged it right there. So I left the cutscene again. If it stretched it out to left or the right, it would have looked really funny. So, but I'll be quiet now and let this cutscene happen.
This is Kaylee. Get her to the church. Her parents are waiting. Typical. I try to help you, and this is the thanks I get. You think I can't see you shaking at the other end of that barrel? Do you think I don't know that your brain is trying to process the horrible fact that, oh my God, it talks? And if it talks, it thinks. And you can't stand that, can you? When are you going to learn that you're not hunters? You're sheep with shotguns. You don't want me for your enemy. So take the help.
I just don't think I can trust you.
Forget whatever happened last year. You've barely scratched the surface of this problem. Ghosts tend to be territorial about places where they were used like cattle and then tortured to death. They're funny that way. Arcadie's execution tore a hole into the land of the dead and unleashed every pissed-off convict that died in that place since 1931. I know you four think you actually accomplished something last year. But the truth is, they went back to sleep on their own. There was no one left for them to kill. That was, of course, until this. So now they're out again, but this time they want everybody dead. The only way to stop them permanently is to find the person or thing responsible for making that hole and break them. If you do that, every rot in this town will be immediately and violently evacuated back to the other side. But any living person not 20 miles out of town dies with them. No favorites, no exceptions. The girl, her parents, everyone will die. Instantly. You get it now? No second chances and no room for your stupid prejudice.
Now I'm just kind of double checking to make sure that I've killed everybody. But I think in the part 2 video, I left the stretch on whenever the cutscene happened, and it looked a little funny. So I went ahead and took them out on everything else. I don't even know if I picked that up because of Kaylee. She's a real pain to keep track of, which you have to do in the next section. But it's funny to, I mean, when she screams, I remember hearing that for the first time. It was like, oh my God. But I'm going to try again, like I said earlier in the other one, to show the stats, my lives, what I've done. But that's it for this chapter, or this part, I guess I should say. Thanks a lot, everybody watching. I know it's a little bit boring, but that's kind of how it goes. And we will see you in part 4 of the graveyard. That's going to be a long one. Take care, everyone.